We are going to do selected reading from Ghazali's Alchemy of Happiness, which is his own abridgment of his magnum opus, Ihya Ulumuddin, the revival of Islamic sciences. Ghazali did this abridgment in Persian, so it's not only an abridgment of his classical work, but also it's one of the first, also a classical work of Islamic Persian prose as well. So it should be actually appreciated and praised from these two different perspectives. My own focus, as usual, is mainly on the logical, the philosophical, moral, and political and social side of these texts. But obviously, in medieval texts, it's very hard to fully separate these elements because the very notion of the separation of religion from other spheres of life is a modern conception. Anyway, we're going to do selected readings, and we're going to read the Persian text. And then I will present my own explanations whenever it is needed. I won't be delving into the linguistic aspect of the book generally, but sometime I might. So it might be of interest to people like me who are interested in Persian language as well, along with their interest in Ghazali. But my Persian is from a non-native perspective, but I mean native in the sense that it's our language and Islamic language, one of the official languages for 1,000 years in the subcontinent. It's not the Persian of Iran or Afghanistan as such. It's not a spoken language for us. So we'll do the reading of both the selected part of part 2 and part 1. So today I'm starting with part 2 because what happened was a couple of years ago I decided to do a close reading of Alchemy of Happiness, and I started with and it's published in 2 volumes. So I started with volume 1 and finished it a while ago, and now I'm doing volume 2, and I have a printed version, but the version I had was had a lot of printing errors, and not only so there were frequently there were paragraphs where the full lines were missing, so it was very hard to make sense of the text. So what I started doing was but I sort of developed love for that printed version. No doubt, in part because of the sincerity of the person. His name is, I think his name is Muhammad Aram. For sure, his name is. I think his name is Muhammad. Somehow on second volume it's not written. Bitasi Ahmed Aram. Sorry, his name is Ahmed Aram. So I stuck with that. But what I did was, whenever I read, I normally read in the morning for 20-30 minutes, whenever I can. Um, and what I did was I got this online version of new printing, which is a bit more, um, which has with less printing errors by this by Hussein Khitiyuja. And what I do, I read from my printed version, and then I would, if I had any problem and I sensed that there was an error or there was a line missing, I will. So basically, I ended up reading both and comparing them. So that was very interesting, and that slow reading sort of made me realize the beauty of Ghazali's prose in Persian. I mean, he's known for his prose in Arabic, but beauty of his prose in Persian was not something which everybody knows. So, and also, I was really impressed by, even though I have read Ihya several times, but Ihya is a detailed work. And I'm not sure how much was. I have never compared Kimya Saadat and Ihya Ulum methodically, so I don't know whether there are some discussions which are new to either in essence or in presentation term. Anyway, so I think it's a book which deserves its classic status as a great book in we can't say tasawwuf because it has more than tasawwuf, great, but it's sort of a book which presents the wisdom of different Islamic disciplines and different Islamic practices. So we will be reading selected passages from Volume 2 and Volume 1. I'll make different playlists for that. But since I'm at Volume 2, I'll start with Volume 2. And Volume 2 is about something which is the core of the tasawwuf, that is to inculcate good habits and empty out our hearts and our bodies from bad practices, and realize what characteristics are good and what characteristics are bad. And the basic premise of the book is that he says it at the start here, that Hui Niku Badast Avardan Mumkin Asper Riyazat. The basic premise of the book is it's possible through practice, through exercise, to develop good habits and to get rid of the bad habits. So we are going to start this passage where he describes the essence of goodness or good character. I start with saying that विदा के अंदर हकीकत खुए निको तो आचीज व खुदामा सुखनी बसियार गुफ्त. So people have talked a lot about what is good characteristic, or what are good morals, that is their reality and from where they come. وهذه के आँचे फरा पीशामदे است بگفته است و تمامی آنها گفتگی. So most people have talked its elements. Different people have talked its elements, almost all of its elements, but not all of it, in the sense that some people say it is this and some people say it is that. So they have appreciated the parts of what constitutes good character, but not its real definition. چنانکه یکی میگوید روی گشاده داشتن است. So some people say that to have good morals is to have, to be, smiling and easygoing. Other people say to have good morals or good characteristics is to, bear the hardship of other people. And other people say that to be good is not to take revenge, or some things like that. But Ghazali says that वही हमें बादी as शाख़ वयस्त. So these are all different elements of good character, or good characteristics, or good morals. Na hakikat ve. They are not its essences. Wa tamami ve. They are not. They don't encompass what reality, what good morals are. وما حقیقت وی و حد تمامی وی پیدا کی. So we are going to describe its essence, and by had he means logical definition, which is generally consists of two elements, genus and the specific difference. Now this was just a start, but this second paragraph is the crux of the matter. So in order to define what is good characteristic, he is basically going back and defining first the nature of human beings, because we are talking about their characters, so we can't know what is good character without knowing the human's nature. And there he says something which is पिदा के आदमी राज दो चीज़ आफरीद हैं. So human beings are made of two elements, two basic natures, so to speak. Yeke kalbad or kalbut, which kalbad, I read it as kalbad, but it's also read as kalbut. Ke bechashme sar batamandid و یک روح که جز به چشم دل اندر نتوان یافت. So human beings are made of two elements. One is kalbat, means basically body. I mean it's more than body, but here it is used in the sense of body. So kalbat, I think it's basically derived from qalib, which is Arabic, which basically means structure, form, but here it is used the sense of body, and body is qalib of human beings, like their form, their structure, their skeleton. As Maulana Rum says in one of his verses, Uchu Janast. So Wajahan chu kalbat. I'll explain it in a minute. Wajahan chu kalbat. That's dal, kalbat. Kalbat az can pazirat nikubat. So Maulana Rum says that, oh, that is God. Like. Not saying he is, but it's a simile or analogy. So God is like a soul. John is soul. And the universe, this world, is like kalbat. That is body. And the body from soul, Pazirat, gets Nikubat, it's good and bad. So from this it tells us that it should be pronounced Kalbat anyway here. So Maulana Rum here likens God to the soul of the universe and the universe itself to the body. Not of God, but universe is like a body. If universe is like a body, then God is the soul of that universe. And from soul, a body gets its good and bad only from its soul. So this is the basic thing Ghazali would say as well. Well, let's take another from Sadi. Sheikh Sadi says that आदमी रा अक्ल बायद दर बदन वरना जान दर खालबत Darat Hemar. This is from Sheikh Sadi. The other one was from Ruby. So Admi, human beings. Aql, intellect. Or reason. So human beings need reason. They have to have a reason in their body. In their body, badan is body. Here he is using actually badan. Varna jaan dar kalbat darad hamar. Because if he doesn't have a intellect in his body, then he's useless, because human beings have life. I mean, even a donkey has a life in its kalbat, which is body. So here, in the same verse, he is using badan and then kalbat. So that tells us kalbat. One of the meaning of kalbat. Not that the meaning was in any doubt, but I thought I will just give you a bit of taste of Rumi and Sadi as well. So Ghazali says, Badan ke aadmi ra az do cheez afrida. So human beings are made of two types of elements. First is his body, and the other is ruh, that's soul. And body sees with the eyes which we have, just next to our head. So the eyes of the head, chashme sar. So body sees with our normal eyes, the two eyes we have. وَيَكِي روح के जुज़ बचश्म दिल अंदर न थमा रफ्त. But So human beings are made of two elements, humans. Badan or kalbad, as he says, body. And body and ruh, which is soul. But body includes physical as well as psychological body. Because ruh is the command of God, Amr Rabbi. So what Ghazali is saying, humans are made up of two elements, body and soul. And as we have bodily eyes, which are on above our face next to our head, soul also have eyes. And those are the eyes of Chashme Dil, he says, the eyes of heart. Chashme Dil. So, body has eyes and soul has eyes. And the eyes of soul are in the heart. And by heart, he doesn't mean the physiological part, but heart is the center of consciousness. So, that's his first point here. So, he's talking about, he's going to define the nature of morality, nature of good characteristics, good character, but in order to do that, he is giving us a sort of anthropology, or philosophical anthropology. Human beings are, so it's, in a sense, it's a dualistic conception of human being. وَهَرْ يَكِرَازِين دو نِكُوِي وَزِشْتِيَس. So each of these elements, our body and our soul, have attached to them goodness, badness, beauty, and ugliness. So you have a kalbat or badan, body. You have a ruh, soul. So there is a good and bad of body, and good or bad of soul, and beautiful and ugly khoob, beautiful khoob, ugly is zisht, and beautiful and ugly of the soul. Khoob zisht. So this is zisht, and that's khoobs. So there's a beauty of body, and there's a beauty of soul, and there's the ugliness of body, and there is the ugliness of the soul. Okay. وهر یکی را از این دو نیکویی وزشتی است. یکی را حسن خلق گویند و یکی را حسن خلق گویند. So the beauty of body is called husn khalq. In English we can say physical beauty. And beauty of soul is husn khulq. They're written same khalq and khulq, only the vowels are different. Which husn khulq is beauty of characteristics or character. So both have their beauties. Beauty of body is called husn khalq, physical beauty, and beauty of soul is called husn khulq. Well, husn khulq, now he's defining husn khalq and husn khulq, beauty of body. I start with beauty of soul. Husn khulq ibarat az surat batin ast. चुनांकि हुस्न खल्क इबारत az सूरत ज़ाहिर ast. So the physical beauty, I guess it can include psychological and all those sort of beauties as well. This deal with your zahir, in the sense of zahir, which is your outward. That's your outward beauty. People can actually see it without talking to you. And husn khulq, or the beauty of character or spiritual beauty, is that of batin, your inner self. You can't see it as such until you peep into somebody's heart or know their character, or have dealings with them. So واجكرا زين دو زشتي ونكويس يكرا حسن خلق goyend ويكرا حسن خلق. حسن خلق عبارت از صورت باطن است، چنانکه حسن خلق عبارت از صورت ظاهر است. و چنانکه صورت ظاهر نکو نباشد بدانکه چشم نیکو بود و بس یه دهان نیکو بود، بس یه بینی نیکو بود و بس آنگاه که بینی و چشم و دهان جمله نیکو بود و اندر خور یک دیگر نبود، همچنین صورت باطن نیکو نبود آنگاه که چهار قوت اندر و نیکو نبود: قوت علم، قوت خشم، قوت dropped out. Let's read it again. و چنا صورت ظاهر نیکو نباش بدان که چشم نیکو بود و بس دهان نیکو بود و بس تاکه گاه که بینی و دهان و چشم نیکو بود جمله واندر خور یک دیگر بود، همچنین صورت باطن نیکو نباشد تا آنگاه که چهار قوت نیکو اندر و نبود: قوت علم، قوت خشم، قوت شهوت، قوت عدل. The میان هر سه. So now he's getting into the meat of it. So you can't be called beautiful just because your eyes are beautiful, or your nose is beautiful, or your mouth is beautiful. You are beautiful only when all your bodily parts are beautiful, and their relationship with each other, or their structure, or the way they are harmonized with each other, is also beautiful. Similarly, your inner self, your inner, that is your soul, cannot be beautiful until you have three powers, or three capabilities, I guess, or three forces are not in your inside. And those forces are knowledge, Quwwat khashm. Khashm mean anger, but here he means by them generally emotions. And then Quwwat Shahwat. Shahwat means lust and desires, but he means their desire. And not just these three elements you have to have. The three elements must be beautiful, but there must be a balance, like the balance we talked about in the outer self. So your soul is beautiful only when your power of knowledge is beautiful, your power of emotion is beautiful, your power of desire is beautiful, and there's balance among them. So let's see if we can describe this a bit more. So human body is beautiful. And individual parts of bodies beautiful, but also they make a harmonious whole. That's what he mean by Dahan Nikobod Bastanga Kibini wa Dehan wa Chashnikobod Jumla on the whole Chashnikobod Jumla, all of them under Hori Yikdiger Bawat. They are harmoniously related to each other. So that's the beauty of the body. Similarly, the beauty of soul is made up of 4 elements. So 3 elements are knowledge, emotion, and desire. So your knowledge is, and he is going to talk about what is good knowledge and bad knowledge, beautiful knowledge and ugly knowledge. So your beauty of emotion, beauty of desires, and the 4th element. So this is very Platonic in a sense, but Plato here talk about reason, not knowledge. So, but Ghazali talk about knowledge, emotion, and desire. But he adds the 4th element, which is of balance or harmony. So harmony among these is the 4th element in Plato, and that's what. So justice, justice is the 4th element. And the Plato has justice as well, but he defined justice by this balance between these. So justice is not the 4th element in Plato. Yes, our soul is beautiful when we have beautiful knowledge, beautiful emotion, beautiful desire, and beautiful justice. So what this all means, Ghazali explain a bit more in next 2 paragraphs. I will do this in the next video.